Hey there, folks, sitting in your places. We got some jokes to put smiles on your faces.
We got some laughs.
We got some tales.
We might even blame you folks if it fails. Oh, Mr. K.
Oh, Mr. B.
Oh, Mr. K.
Oh, Mr. B.
We've got a story. You're too kind.
So, I hear you're an optimist.
Yes, I am an optimist.
Tell me, what's the difference between an optimist and a pessimist?
Well, an optimist says the drink is half full, and a pessimist says the drink is half full, but I probably have bowel cancer.
Whoa! So, I hear you have an uncle.
Yes, you're right. Correct. I do have an uncle.
Tell me about your uncle.
Well, my uncle's worked at the same dead-end job he loathes for 40 years.
Tell me, why would your uncle or any man
or person?
Person's 2023. Person.
Yes.
Why would any person work in the same dead-end job he or she or they loathe for 40 years?
I asked him and he said, I'll try anything once.
Whoa!
I'll never forget my uncle's last words.
What were they?
My life's been a fucking sham! Words I still live by today.
So, I'm fucking your wife.
You're fucking Tracy?
Is that her name?
You're fucking my wife, you don't know her name?
We didn't have the time. I got the joke.
I guess it slipped your mind, eh, Kevin?
That's the joke. Slipped my mind.
Well done.
At least I remember that I forgot it.
And they don't know either, Kevin. They don't know.
Idea.
You kept it from them
They have
like
no
a
idea.
professional. Now, did my wife, Tracy McCullough, say anything about me during the act of love-making?
Well, during the sweet act of lovemaking, she did mention that your dink resembles a worm.
Oh, guilty. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Despair.
Come in, man. I know you well.
Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
I looked in the mirror the other day and I saw another gray hair in an ocean of gray hairs. Another line in the middle of my face in a forest, a jungle, the lines in the middle of my face. And I said to myself, I'm turning 40 next week.
40, Kevin?
When we wrote this.
Oh, you guys.
I'm turning 40 next week. And just where the hell is my life going?
Oh, Mr. K.
Oh, Mr. B.
Oh, Mr. K.
Oh, Mr. B.
We got a story.
I knew I forgot something.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You came. You came. When Kevin was shaving me before the show, which is our ritual,
We shave each other.
yeah, and he said, I hope they come, and you did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We did not shave in vain. Thank you.
And it's so great to be at the venerable Rivoli. And yes, and when I say Rivoli, nothing's changed for 40 years. The couch that the Parachute Club had an orgy on is still there, hasn't been changed. And it's really
Thank
great
God.
to perform, Kevin, in a place where you get to share the bathrooms with the audience.
Just like my house.
Yeah. We're at home here. And it is so great for us to play in Toronto. We just love Toronto because Toronto is cruel and dismissive. but in so many languages.
True story. But there's not just two of us on stage. Please give a big hand for our band. That's our band. She's our band. Our band.
Sato, Kevin.
Yes, Sato.
It's a Shakespeare thing.
Yes.
Now that I get a look at her, I'm not sure she actually is cat power.
Are you sure? She was moody during rehearsal.
Oh boy, was she ever.
Yeah, I don't know.
And she did ask to get paid in cocaine.
Cocaine? Where are we going to get cocaine? We're in Toronto. This is a fentanyl town.
Of course it is. Everybody knows it's a fent haven.
I don't know what to do.
I'll ask her. Excuse me, young person. Is it okay if we pay you in fent instead of cocaine as you had stipulated in your contract?
Sure, Dave. I loved you in that poker show.
Who is she?
She's not Chrissy Hind.
No.
Though
Is she Chrissy Hind, Kevin?
I don't know. I think Chrissy Hind would be much nicer than her. Ladies and gentlemen, her real name is Allison Baker. Allison Baker. Allison Baker. Ladies and gentlemen, Allison Baker. Play something!
No,
not that!
stop!
Not that!
Stop!
Jesus Christ, no!
Oh, I had such a bad flashback. I just saw Scott's big calves coming at me. Have you seen those things? You could chain your bike to his calves.
True story.
Great.
Though our instincts are good, we should play something. You know what? We should play a cover song.
Great idea. We will be singing some songs here tonight.
We are both songwriters.
Yes.
Legally, we
Great, yeah.
The police won't arrest us. We are songwriters.
Yes.
In fact, I would say we're the Lennon and McCartney of the Kids in the Hall.
Yes. Or the Ringo and Ringo of the Kids in the Hall.
Yeah, that's more like it. When we were kids, we didn't know each other, but we both loved the great songwriting teams we found out later. Of course, Lennon and McCartney.
Hall and Oates.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Tiny Tim and his landlord.
Oh, they're good.
They're really good. Wrote some
They're
good stuff.
So we're going to do a cover song for you now. You kids of 50 will remember the song. You infants of 40 may not remember it, but it's so catchy. I know you're going to love it. It's universal. And it goes a little something like this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Yeah! Happy birthday, dear.
I don't know who.
Happy birthday to you. Great song. Great song.
Yeah, it's so great to be here. And why don't we actually land the elephant that's in the room, Kevin?
Yes, we know there's some Kids and All fans here, but we know that a lot of you were dragged here by your 48-year-old boyfriend. Who will never marry you. Will never marry you. Never marry
And when we say 48-year-old, we really mean 59-year-old nerd boyfriends.
We've been doing this joke for 11 years.
Yes.
Yes, and we also know that 13% of you, 13% of the people that come to any Kid in the Hall show, you're hardcore Kids in the Hall fans. Like, you love the Kids in the Hall, yeah. And on behalf of the troupe, Bruce and I would like to apologize. We know we screwed up your lives. We know you didn't graduate from college.
Yes, some of you got ironic tattoos that are aging poorly.
Irony only lasts 3 or 4 years. We apologize. We know that you don't understand real life things, business things.
Well, they don't know what a mortgage is,
they don't know
really,
what a mortgage
or
is.
how a bank works, or
you get confused with what to do with a sweater.
And because of us, if you've liked us, you have a complicated relationship with a thing called happiness.
You don't know what that means.
Yeah, we don't know what that means.
You know what happiness is? Right here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happiness.
What are you doing, Kev?
Oh yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Now, listen.
Just having water. By my script.
Well, what I have here is a list of
Bruce is thirsty,
This is
too.
a list of charities that we want to give money to.
During the show, I'll be drinking water, and Bruce will be doing his charity work.
And listen, Kevin, you know, we're not going to be doing a bunch of kid in the hall stories tonight.
No.
But I do remember that I saw you, the last time I saw you perform solo in Los Angeles, you had a really interesting fan.
Oh, yes, the subpoena carrier.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I can tell one story. Can
Okay,
I not?
please.
All
Yes,
right,
of course.
This story, it starts in 2017. I had a mean ex-wife. You have to know that right off the bat. I'm not saying all ex-wives are mean. I'm not sexist. Just mine. And Dave Foley's. They're the only ones I've ever met that are mean. I swear to God. Don't cancel me. The funny thing is I was up to date with the payments. And I wasn't living in Los Angeles anymore. I'm living in Winnipeg. I live with the women. Moved to Winnipeg, which is north of Fargo. North of Fargo. So I would go to Los Angeles every now and then to do a few shows. This was my podcast show, which only got 2,000 listeners. Is that good? No. It was sort of a variety show, and I was very excited. I was playing in the back of a comic book store. Oh, how the not-so-mighty have fallen. And I had Dana Gould. You know Dana Gould, the comic? He was a guest? Yeah. Jesse Valenzuela, the lead guitarist and songwriter of the Gin Blossoms. I only have 90s celebrity friends. I was trying a new kid out called Scott Thompson. I was very excited to see this kid. So 5 minutes before I knew they were letting the audience in, I went out and I looked at the stage. I did this pose. Your life is good, Kevin. You're up to date with your payments. And then all of a sudden behind me, I heard a voice say, are you Kevin McDonald? I said, oh, a fan. And I turned around and it was a young guy. I go, oh, I'm getting to the young people. I'm getting young fans. Yes, I am Kevin McDonald. He said, well, I'm a really big fan. And then I thought we were about to shake hands, so I went like this. Then he handed me a rolled-up subpoena. And he said, Mr. McDonald, this is a summons from the Royal Court of California. You are summoned to court on October 11th at 2 p.m. And, of course, my first thought was, you're not a fan? Haven't you ever... Slipped my mind. That means nothing... And then he ran away. But then I opened it up, and it wasn't a subpoena. It was the takeout menu from the lawyer's office. I thank God lawyers were being hungry, and I didn't have a summons. So this guy was the same subpoena carrier for 3 years, from 2017 to COVID. He came to every show. He made friends with some of the comics. And I'm not saying that I hope he's dead from COVID. I just hope that he lost the ability to hand things to people. And I did the same show, like the different shows with the same comics. Dana Gould was always there. Everyone recognized the subpoena carrier. And so I never went outside. I had to bring a boxed lunch like a construction worker. And people would be outside having a smoke break, which I don't smoke anyway. And they would say, your subpoena carrier's here. And then the guy started getting clever. He dressed as a pizza delivery guy. And he had the pizza box with a subpoena in it. And he saw Bobcat Goldthwait, and he said, this is the pizza for Mr. McDonald. Can you get it to him? And Bobcat Goldthwait knew who he was. So he opened the box, he took the subpoena out, and he ate it. As only Bobcat Goldthwait would do. He saw all our shows. Once he was walking down the street and Dana Gould walked by him and he said, I'm a big fan of yours. Oh, you're the subpoena carrier. What do you think of the show? He said, I have some notes. He honestly said that. And then the last time it happened, before COVID hit, I was doing another show, another young kid I was trying out, Mark McKinney. And then everyone told me, oh, your subpoena carrier's out there. He's waiting for you in the parking lot after the show. So Mark and his wife, Heather, put a blanket on me. It was a blanket that went to my ankles, and they walked me outside. I guess people thought that Mark McKinney from the Kids in the Hall was, in an odd way, taking a guy to a burn victim to a hospital. And they got me. I was on the floor of the back seat, and they started driving. And I heard Heather say, "There he is." And I heard them do their posture up. Why do you always do your posture up when you go by a cop? I don't know why that is. And then I heard Mark say, see, Heather, I told you we have to buy a bigger car with more trunk space to hide my friend Kevin. That's
excellent story.
Thank you very much.
Story.
Thank you. I'm really going for water.
You get your water there.
I'm really going for water.
And, you know, we should only tell one more story. We don't need to tell stories about the others, but let's tell stories about the person who the most stories have been created by the whirlwind that he is, the most prestigious story maker of all time.
Scott Thompson.
Scott Thompson. I've sort of sometimes described Scott as, you know, when you go to a restaurant and they're not so sure about how good the food is, so they give you a lot of it? That's Scott Thompson. And of course, Paul Bellini is laughing because he knows it's the truth. But the question is, like, there's so many. Which Scott story should we tell?
There are so many. Which Scott story should we tell? Which Scott story should we tell? There's so many to choose from. Should it be uplifting or dark as hell? Like the time he swallowed that moose cum. Scott, you're to blame. That all your stories always end in shame. Scott, you're a mess. Which Scott story should we tell? There's 4,000 to choose from. Like the fact he cannot spell, or the day he pushed his mom in a well, or the time at a baby he yelled, or when customs stopped him 'cause of marijuana smell. He screws up well. Scott, you're a mess. Have you drained your life of happiness? Scott, you're a mess. Scott, you're a mess. Scott, you're a mess. Which Scott story should we tell?
I just thought of it, Kevin. Oh. I just thought of it.
Yes?
The masturbation fire.
Yes, I'll tell that story. This is 100% a true story. It's true. It takes place in 1987. This is my hand gesture for 1987. The kids in the hall, after performing the Rivoli, we had just been discovered by a wonderful, wonderful woman named Lauren Michaels. Wonderful woman. And Lauren got assigned to write and shoot a pilot for HBO. CBC was not involved yet. They didn't care about us. They're Canadian, we're Canadian. Why would they care about us? So Lauren's plan was to get us to New York for 6 months to write a pilot. Lauren wanted us to to go to New York because Lauren was working on another sketch show. I forget the name. Hee-haw, it doesn't matter. And then HBO was paying for the whole thing. But this is HBO pre-Sopranos, pre-Sex and the City, way pre-Game of Thrones. They weren't the shit yet. And they only had enough money to get 4 of us apartments. Apparently there are 5 kids in the hall. Now, Scott Thompson and I are the 2 weakest members of the troupe. So after the group brawl, it was decided that Scott and I would be roommates. Living with Scott Thompson was a glorious adventure. Like the time we had the masturbation fire. Totally a true story. You gotta believe that. I came in the apartment one day and saw a raging fire in the kitchen and a completely naked Scott trying to put it out with a small pot and running water. What happened? I was masturbating. Obviously. Grow up, Kevin. Yes, of course, I'll grow up, Scott. Apparently, 20 minutes earlier, Scott was in the kitchen fully clothed, boiling water for eggs. This, of course, made him horny. He went to the bedroom to masturbate. I guess it took longer than he thought it would take. I guess it's hard to come when you're thinking of naked egg-shaped men. The water boiled over, and we had a masturbation fire in our hands. They're the worst kind. Todd story should we tell? I have to have more water. So many to choose from. Thank you very much. Come back! Now, Allison.
Yeah.
I have to make a bit of a costume change, and I don't know if Bruce is ready. And we've really got the audience's attention. This is the best show we've ever done in our lives. Like already. So you may be alone for a bit. Hold their attention. We will fire you halfway through the show. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Hold their attention.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear son. Happy birthday to you.
What the fuck are you doing? We already did the happy birthday thing. Okay. How's it going so far? Thank you. I have a tremendous friend named Karen Hines, who's a theater worker, and she said a phrase that really sunk in with me. It was her parents were struggling, and she said, "For everyone I know, it's like it's raining parents." You know, and I think it is. So I decided to write a really uplifting song about how I want to go to my parents' house, but I can't because they're dead. It's called Parents' House. Brand new song. I want to go to my parents' house, want to go to my parents' house. I want to go to my parents' house, but I can't because they're dead. My mom is dead, my dad is dead, and the house ain't there no more. Sometimes I wander and look for their dog, but then I remember that he'd be 60 by now. He used to eat balloons, then poo balloons, then turn and bite me. For everyone I know, it's raining parents. For everyone I know, it really is. My mom taught me to love by not loving me. Now that June is dead, I feel I'm truly free. My dad taught me to be strong by being so very weak. Ian was only mediocre, even when he was at his peak. Yet still, I want to go to my parents' house, want to go to my parents' house. I want to go to my parents' house, want to go to my parents' house. See my mom, see my dad, eat some deep-fried veal. When I was growing up, that was considered a meal. We'd eat mac and cheese and lots of ketchup. I saw a salad when I was 28 years old. For everyone I know, it's raining parents. Be it Alzheimer's or just old-fashioned dementia. When my dad died at the end, he didn't really know too much. He thought that I was a clock radio. Still, I want to go to my parents' house, want to go to my parents' house. I want to go to my parents' house, but I can't because they're dead. It should be a museum by now, but it's really not. They've actually turned that townhouse into a parking lot. I could sit there in my car and stare and think about all the fights. When my mom died, my sister didn't even call me. She just texted me a tombstone emoji. When my parents died, I cleaned out their things. And where I took off all their pictures on the wall, there was nicotine rings. Yet, I want to go to my parents' house, want to go to my parents' house. I want to go to my parents' house, but I can't because they're dead.
Okay, one more story. Before we get to the other stories. Yes, the kids in the hall, they call us punk comics. We're the punk comics. We came from the Rivoli, punk music back then, and we performed. We were the comedians of punk. We even have a, what is it called? Amazon documentary called Comedy Punks. Though, if you see the Amazon show, I think we're more prog rock now. You know, it goes on way too long, and there's weird tempo changes. But yes, I guess when we were kids, growing up in Mississauga like I did, we liked our punk rock. We liked our punk rock. We didn't know each other, but we found out later that when we were teenagers, we liked our punk rock. We all, except for Mark McKinney. Mark McKinney is more of a fan of Chinese opera and the British folk music of the 1600s. But of course, the song Fuck You, Queen Victoria, she wasn't in the 1600s. I don't know history. But I always say this. I was 16. Do you remember rock and roll? It's dead now. But I was 16 during one of the greatest years to be 16 in the era of rock and roll. I was 16 when the Sex Pistols released Nevermind the Bollocks. And because I had grown up as a kid on the Beatles, I do like punk rock, but I like it melodic. I like my punk rock melodic. And it was melodic, but it was also like, screw you. And he, like, Johnny Rotten was my hero for a second. He was like, he swore on TV, and he said bad things about Queen Elizabeth. And I loved, and they were melodic. So I love them. And I love the Clash and the Buzzcocks, and who cares. Now, fast forward to 19 years later. 19 years later, it'd be cleaner if I said 20 years later, but the truth is, it was 19 years later. I was 35. I had just moved to Los Angeles after Brain Candy bombed. Good career move. Oh, the movie that I'm the lead in and I co-wrote bombed? Let's go to Hollywood with my resume. So Bruce had moved there a few months earlier, and he got in touch with me, and we hadn't seen each other since the AIDS test. Let me explain. Back a few months earlier, when Brain Candy was busy bombing, the kids in the hall, we weren't mad at each other. We just stopped talking to each other. We didn't say we're split up. We quit, but it sort of was in the air. It happened. So I didn't know what Bruce was doing. I didn't know what anybody was doing. And I decided to move to Los Angeles, and I had to get a green card to work. And in those days, to get a green card, you had to have an AIDS test. So I made my appointment. And I went there, and you're put in a waiting room with 20 other people. And it was the only time in my life that I was in a room full of at least 20 people, and they all recognized me at an AIDS test. so they were all looking at me as I said, I remember. And because I didn't know, what I didn't know is that Bruce McCullough had also was getting a green card, and he had set up an appointment at the exact same time. So I was there, they were staring at me, and the door opened, and here comes in tiny Bruce McCullough. And the 20 people went like... trying to imagine the orgies that the kids in the hall have after their tapings. And then Bruce and I, without planning it, of course, we were shocked, but then we did the funniest thing that we've ever done in our lives. we acted uncomfortable with each other. Hi, Bruce. Yeah, hi, Kevin. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, call me sometime. Yeah, I'll call you. So now we're in Los Angeles. Bruce wants to have dinner with me. He'll pay for it because he always has more money than me. And we go to the Viper Room. Johnny Depp's River Phoenix died there. Yeah, let's eat there. That's good. And then in the Viper Room, mostly you stand, but there's like 8 tables where you can sit. And because Bruce McCullough has pole, I don't have any pole. He got us a table and 2 chairs. So we're sitting and we're eating. And then a guy comes over to our table, guy like in his mid-30s. He had like a leopard jacket. I guess in retrospect, he was like a Hollywood hanger-on. He came to us and he said, "Are you 2 guys from the Kids in the Hall?" And we said, "Yes, sir, we are." And he said, "Well, I'm sitting with Mr. Johnny Rodden, and he's a giant fan of yours." Then he went like that, and I looked at Johnny Rodden, and I remember Johnny Rodden was my idol. Like he would cut himself on stage, he spit on reporters, he attacked reporters, he hated everything, said fuck everything. So I look at Johnny Rodden now, and he's doing this. My king of punk. And then the hanger-on says, Mr. Rodden. By the way, he had changed his name to John Lennon by then, so he was trying to impress us that he knew Johnny Rodden so well. Mr. Rodden would love if you guys came over and sat with him. And then, of course, I'm up in the middle of the word sat. I'm getting up. And Bruce, who's the coolest guy in the room, in a room of cool people, spiritually he wears sunglasses. He stops me from getting up. He forces me down. Says, "No, Kevin, we're going to stay here." And then he turned the hanger on and said, "Kevin and I, my friend Kevin and I haven't seen each other since the AIDS test." And we're just hanging out. So tell Mr. Linden, no, but thank you. "But that's Johnny Rodden. He wants to sit with you." "Yeah, maybe we'll see you guys at the bar later." And then he leaves, and then I see Johnny Rodden, and now he's doing this to me. That's way better. He's the king of punk. I think he invented the finger. He invented the finger.
How are we doing? I just want to say how great it is that we're all out and that people are out everywhere and that we've lived through that fucking thing. And yeah, and I think, during the time of COVID, it was a miracle if you just had low-grade depression. You know what I mean? And so I was thinking about this one night when I was trying to sleep, and I started thinking, my mind wandered back to all the things I learned in high school, which was not many. I don't remember much. One, something about integers. I don't know what they are. I just know that they exist. And then I remember that breath is never created nor destroyed, which I thought was such a beautiful idea. And so it was so weird and freaky to me that I had to write a poem about it. This is something called Written Between 2:15 and 3:15 a.m. We are all connected. We are all connected by our breath. We are sharing air. And in that way, we are connected to all of those we will never know. Outsiders, there sure are a lot of us. I feel like I'm connected to the outsiders. In that way, I am a teenage goth girl with daddy issues. In that way, I am an IHOP waitress who has a cat called Cocaine because she actually does cocaine off of him. I am the cold underneath of a pillow. Flip me over for some cool comfort. I am a beautiful woman with ugly feet, knowing it's much better than the opposite. I am Elvis making love to an Elvis impersonator, wondering which one am I? I am a stressed out dad in a minivan, wondering, is there anyone darker than the devil I can pray to? I am the empty elevator. When the elevator stops, and the doors open, and nobody gets out, that is me. I am also the errant cat in homemade pornography who didn't know I was on camera. I am the roadkill at the side of the road whose last words were, I think I can make it, Murr. I think he was going to say Murray. I am the guy that loves the girl, but he will never have her sexually. The closest he will come to sleeping with her is the feel of her mattress on his face as he helps her move.
And punk music wasn't the only music in the late 70s. There was disco. Kids and all also like disco. We could be called the disco comics. The Ohio Express players, they were my Beatles. So I wrote a disco song, Sorry. And it goes a little something like this. Hey, party people standing over there, get dancing, keep dancing. Take off your ties and untie your hair, keep dancing, keep dancing. That's it, you're here to party. That's it, just keep on dancing. Hey, lovely people standing over there, keep dancing, keep dancing. I know you're tired, but don't go to the bar. Keep dancing, keep dancing. Seriously, I mean it. Stay on the dance floor. Hey, you fat guy, get away from that chair. Hey, party people, I told you once already. You're not listening. Don't make me fucking repeat my fucking self. Keep dancing. I mean it. Keep dancing, cause I'm packing heat. Keep dancing, or I'll shoot your feet. Keep dancing, don't want you to sit. Keep dancing, you fat piece of shit. Get off those chairs and dance now. Don't make me come over there. Keep dancing or I'll kill you. Keep dancing or I'll kill you. I like to see people dancing. I guess it's kind of a fetish. No, it's definitely a fetish. As you dance, I'll unzip my pants, and then I'll start my one-hand romance. Keep dancing or I'll kill you. Keep dancing or I'll kill you. Keep dancing or I'll kill you. Keep dancing or you're dead. Hey, party people standing over there. Keep dancing, yeah! Isn't disco fun? Yeah! Wow. This show is full of surprises. Kevin McDonald doing a disco song? It's surprising. Well, we have more surprises coming up, like this one. A drum machine in a Bruce and Kevin show.
50 years ago this summer, a war raged in America. Oppression and violence were the entrees of the day. A little-known Canadian band got stopped at the border and were told that they could now they're going to America to work, they could be drafted by the American government. That same night on the Detroit stage, the lead guitarist, Randy Bachman, got so angry thinking about it that he broke his strings. And restringing his guitar, a new riff came to him. And a young Burton Cummings, still angry too, started to spit out lyrics. And that night, an American woman was born. 50 years later, the planet is on fire. Roe versus Wade has been savagely squashed. Women's queer and trans rights are being trampled. Is there a war in the Ukraine? I can't remember. And what's worse, we have to sit through a 4-hour Oppenheimer. So let's go back to the spirit of those hippies, men in their bell-bottom jeans. Let's welcome a gay icon, Paul Bellini, right now, who will change the world forever.
American woman, stay away from me. American woman, mama, let me be. Don't come knocking around my door. I don't want to see your face no more. I got more important things to do. Spend my time growing old with you. Now, woman, I said get away. American woman, listen what I say. Ooh, 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 ooh. American woman, said get away. American woman, listen what I say. I don't want you knocking on my door. I don't want to see your shadow no more. Turn the lights and hypnotize. Sparkle someone else's eyes. Now, woman, I said get away. American woman, listen what I say. Get away, no, 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 no. I gotta leave you, woman. I gotta leave you, woman. Bye-bye. 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 You're no good for me. I'm no good for you. Gonna look you right in the eye. Tell you what I'm gonna do. You know I'm gonna go. You know I'm gonna leave. You know I'm gonna leave you, woman. I'm gonna leave you, woman. Goodbye, American woman. Goodbye, American bitch. Bye.
Drum machine.
Yes.
And Paul Bellini. And Laura. Check.
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 The only reason I did the show with Kevin is to see that scene. They did it once before, and it's the weirdest thing in the world. Paul Bellini, will you come out for a little bow?
Is he changing?
Paul Bellini, everybody. Stay. They love him. Yeah. We've been making fun of Scott tonight, but of course we dearly love him. And I'd like to announce for the first time that Paul Bellini and I are executive producing a documentary on Scott Thompson's Buddy Cole character, which you'll see it instantly. So we're so excited about that. So we just wanted to let our friends at the Rivoli know first. And so also, this is intermission. Have a nice little drink. Come back. We'll
It's
have
a short second half, we swear.
It's a short second half. Have a great intermission. We'll see you in a bit.